I am going to explain about the current differential protection of a feeder line. Okay, this is the second type of differential protection of a feeder line. Basically, the feeder line is protected by using the non-unit type of protection and also unit type of protection. Okay, in the case of a non-unit type of protection, that is three types of protections are there. First one is the time gradient protection, second one is the current gradient protection, third one is the distance protection. Okay, after that, coming to the unit type of protection, basically the unit type of protection is divided into two types. Okay, first one is the differential protection, second one is the carrier current differential protection. Okay, again the differential protection, basically the unit type of protection is divided into two types. Okay, that is first one is the differential protection, second one is the carrier current differential protection. Okay, the differential protection is again divided into two types, that is the differential fillet wire protection, second one is the current differential protection. Okay, in present class, I am discussing about the current differential protection, that is the first type of unit type of protection. That is the unit type of protection is divided into two types, that is the differential fillet wire protections and also the second one is the current differential protection. After that, the second type of differential protection is the carrier current differential protection of a feeder. Okay. Okay, this is the unit type of protection. That unit type of protection, we are having the two types are there. That is first one is the differential protection. Second one is the carrier current differential protection of a feeder. Okay, now in present class, we are discussing about the what is meant by the current differential protection and what is the carrier current differential protections. Okay, the differential protection will be suitable only for the kilometers is less than 15 kilometers. It is economical. After that, it is not economical. That's why we are going for the carrier current differential protection of a feeder. Okay, that is the main reason for going of the carrier current differential protection of a feeder. Okay, first one is the current differential protection. Okay, this is the diagram for that current differential protection. Okay, first of all, what is meant by differential protection? There is the sum of algebraic sum of the currents will be equal to the zero. That means the under normal operating conditions both the CT currents is equal to zero. Okay, suppose if any abnormal conditions or short circuit currents are obtained, the algebraic sum of these two CT currents will be equal to the sum of the currents that currents is flowing through the relay coil. Okay, that is the main working of a differential protection. Okay, what is meant by the current differential protection? It is also called as the biased differential protection. Okay, due to the MC coil is an example of a current balance differential protection. For understanding its purpose, principle, let us first consider the protection of a single phase feeder. Okay, we are considering the single phase feeder. Okay, in this diagram we are considering the single phase feeder line. That feeder line is protected by the current differential protection principle. Okay, that single phase feeder line is protected by the current differential protection. Okay, the scheme is illustrated as shown in the figure. The current transformer CT1 and CT2 are mounted on the two ends of the protected line. Okay, this is the single phase feeder line. This feeder line is protected by the current differential protection. That means at the both the ends of this feeder line, we are connecting the CT1 and also the CT2. Okay, both the cities are taking the balanced conditions. Okay, both the cities are taken as the balanced conditions. Okay, the secondaries of these two cities are connected through the restraining coils R1, R2 and the pillet wires P1 and the P2. Okay, the secondaries of this CT1 and CT2 are connected by the R1, R2. That means the restraining coil. O1, O2 are the operating coils and P1, P2 are the pillet wires. Okay, P1, P2 are the pillet wires. Okay, the secondaries of these cities are connected by the R1 and R2, that is the restraining coils. Okay, that is connected by the pillet wires P1 and the P2. Okay, that restraining coils R1 and R2 are connected by the pillet wires, that is P1 and the P2. Okay, O1, O2 are the operating coils. O1, O2 are the operating coils. The operating coils of the relays are also connected across the secondaries of the cities. Okay, through the diverting resistance DR1 and DR2. Okay, that through the diverting resistance DR1 and also DR2. Okay, these are the diverting resistance. That diverting resistors are connected through this operating coil. Okay, the diverting resistance DR1 is connected to this operating coil O1. Okay, the diverting resistance DR2 is connected by this operating coil O2. Okay, this is the single phase feeder line. At the end of both the feeder line, we are connecting the two CTs, that is CT1 and also CT2. Okay, so the secondaries of these CTs are connected by the R1 and R2 and pillet wires P1 and the P2. Okay, R1 and R2 are the restraining coils that will be connected by using these pillet wires P1 and the P2. Okay, at the secondary side of this restraining coil, we are connecting the operating coil. That operating coil is connected through the diverting resistance. This is the DR1 and this is the DR2. Okay, this is the diverting resistance are connected through these operating coils. Okay, each of these two diverting resistance is equal to the pillet wire resistance. Okay, each of this DR1 resistance and DR2 resistance is equal to the pillet wires resistance, that is the P1 P2 resistance, that is P1 P2 resistance. Okay, which will causes the same currents to flow the operating coil by using the equality of that DR1 DR2 to the diverting resistance. Then it will be causes the same current flows through the operating coil, that is the O1 and O2. Okay, therefore same current is flowing through the operating coils O1 and the O2. For equal number of turns on the restraining coil and operating coil, equal pull will be accepted on the side of a beam relay. However, mechanical biasing can also be provided. Provided by moving the fulcrum towards the operating coil. Therefore, same amount of current will be flowing through these operating coils. Then same movement, mechanical movement will be obtained towards the operating coil. And such an arrangement can allow 10 to 12% greater than current to the flow in the operating coil before it can closing the contact. Okay, before closing the contact of the circuit breaker, 10 to 12% greater currents will be flowing through the operating coil. Okay, therefore for an earth fault at a point F, therefore the earth faults are up obtained at a point F. Suppose the fault will be obtained at this point. In that case, we are taking the algebraic sum of these two currents. That means there is a some currents will be obtained. Okay, that currents is flowing through this restraining coil. After that, by using these Pillets wires, it will be flowing through that operating coil. Okay, the restraining coil current will be more than the operating coil. Then, sorry, the more than the operating coil is more than the restraining coil, then the relay will be operated or the circuit breaker will be operated. Okay, for an earth fault at a point F, the current in the CT1 will exceeds then in the CT2. Okay, therefore a unbalances will be obtained in between these two cities. Okay, the secondary currents of this CT1 will be flowing in two parallel paths. One path will be through diverting to the DR1 and operating coil O1, and second path will be through the coil R2. Okay, the Pillet wires P1 diverting the resistance DR2, operating coil OR2, the restraining coil R2 and the Pillet wire P2. Obviously, the resistance of the second path consisting of three coils, two Pillet wires and one diverting resistance. Okay, therefore, some diverting currents will be flowing through this operating coil. Therefore, that operating coil exceeds the relay setting coil. Okay, then automatically the relay will be operated. Okay, then automatically the relay will be operated. Okay, this is the current differential protection. Okay, this is the single phase feeder line that will be protected by using the current differential protection. Okay, at the both ends of this feeder line, we are connecting the two CTs, that is CT1 and the CT2. Okay, that two CTs are connected by the restraining coils through the Pillet wires. Okay, that is P1 and the P2. Restraining coil to the Pillet wires, that is P1 and the P2. That is P1 and the P2. Okay, the secondary side of these restraining coils are connected by the operating coils O1 and the O2. Okay, that operating coils are connected by these diverting resistance DR1 and the DR2. Okay, the diverting resistance is equal to the resistance of these Pillet wires. Therefore, same currents will be flowing through these operating coils 1 and the operating coil 2. Okay, under normal operating conditions, the algebraic sum of these currents will be equal to 0. Therefore, the restraining coil torque will be less than the operating torque at this normal operating condition. Okay, at this normal operating condition. Suppose the restraining torque is greater than suppose the operating torque is greater than the restraining torque. How we will be obtained the operating torque is more than the restraining torque? That means suppose a fault will be obtained at this point or within the protective zone. Okay, therefore the current in the CT1 is differ for the current in the CT2. Okay, therefore the algebraic sum of these currents is equal to the differential currents. Okay, the algebraic sum of the currents is equal to the differential currents. Therefore, that differential current is flowing through the operating coils, then automatically restraining coil through the operating coil. Then automatically the torque obtained in this operating coil is more than the restraining coil. Okay, therefore there is a tripping command to that circuit breaker in that situation. Okay, that is the current differential protection of a feeder line. Okay, next second type of protection, that is the second type of protection is the carrier current differential protection of a feeder. Okay, second type of protection is the carrier current differential protection of a feeder. Why we are going for the second type of protection means why we are going the second type of protection means the differential protection is suitable only for the differential protection is suitable only for the kilometers less than 15. Okay, the kilometers less than 15. Okay, in that case only it will be suitable. Okay, that's why we are going for the carrier current differential protection of a feeder. Okay, for long feeder line it is not economical. The distance type of differential protection is not economical for long feeder lines. Okay, that's why we are designing the carrier current feeder protection for the long feeder lines. Okay, normally the feeder lines are very long length. Okay, why? Because the feeder lines are long length, the generating stations and the substations are very far away for each it, therefore we require the long length of feeder lines. Okay, for the long length of feeder lines, the differential protection, that is the first type of unit type of protection, is not economical. That's why we are designing the carrier current differential protection. Okay, it is economical for the length of the feeder line is increases, that is above 15 kilometers. It is most economical. It is most economical. Okay, therefore the carrier current protection scheme is mainly used for the protection of a long transmission lines. Okay, therefore it will be suitable for the long transmission lines. Okay, in the carrier current protection schemes, the phase angle of the current at any two phases of the line are compared instead of the actual current. So, okay, in this type of protection, the phase angle of these currents in this type of protection, the phase angle of these currents at two phases of the line are compared instantly, are compared instead of the actual current. Okay, are compared instead of the actual current. Okay, and then the phase angle of the line decides where the fault is internal and the external. Okay, therefore by using these phase angles, that line decides that faults will be internal or the external. Okay, the main element of the carrier channels are a transmitters, receivers, coupling equipments and the line traps. Okay, therefore the main elements in these carrier channels are the transmitters, receivers, coupling equipments and the line traps. These are the main elements in the case of a carrier current differential protection. Okay, the carrier current receivers receives the carrier current from the transmitted at a distance end of the line. Okay, therefore that carrier current receives the current from transmitted at a distance of the end of the line. Okay, therefore the receiver converts this received carrier current into a DC voltage. Okay, that receiver receives that carrier current and then it converted into a DC voltage. Okay, that can be used in a relay or other circuit. Okay, then it decides the function. Okay, the voltage is 0 when the carrier current is not being received. Okay, in that case, the line trap is inserted between the bus bars and the coupling capacitors. Okay, this is the practical LC network tuned to a resonance. In that, we are using the practical LC network circuit. Okay, the trap restricts the carrier currents to a unprotected section so as to avoid the interfaces from with the other adjustments. Okay, it also avoids the loss of carrier current signal to the avoiding the power. Okay, this is the circuit diagram for that protection of the feeder line. Okay, this is the single phase feeder line. Okay, at the transmission line. Okay, at the both the ends of these lines we are using the circuit breakers, that is the circuit breaker 1 and the circuit breaker 2. Okay, near that circuit circuit breakers, we are connecting the line traps, line trap, and that is the coupling capacitor, and also we are using the transmitters and the receivers. Okay, in between these transmitters we are taking the receivers. Okay, this is the receivers and these are the transmitters, and this is the coupling capacitor, this is the line trap. Line trap means that it consists of a inductance and the capacitance. Okay, line trap means that it consists of a inductance and the capacitance. Okay. Okay, this is the basic circuit diagram for that carrier current differential protection. Okay, the method of carrier current differential protection, the current carries protection, then basic from the carrier currents protections are the directional comparison protection, phase comparison protection. Okay, the carrier current differential protection, in that we are using the directional comparison protection and also phase comparison. We compare the directions and also the phase. Okay, that is the two methods for the carrier current differential protection. Okay, in that first one is the directional comparison protection. Okay, this type of protection it can be done by the comparison of a fault of a power flow direction at the two ends of a line. Okay, by comparing the faults of a power flow direction at the two ends of a lines. Okay, during that fault, a simple signal through carrier pillar is transmitted from one end to the other. Okay, during that fault, a simple signal is transmitted from the pillar wires to the transmit one end to the another. Okay, the pillar protection relaying scheme used for the protection of a transformer. Okay, therefore we are using the carrier blocking protection. How the carrier will be blocking? Okay, the carrier blocking protection scheme restricts the operation of the relay. Okay, in that case the relay does not operate, it blocks the faults before entering into the protection system. Okay, by using this carrier blocking, the faults will be blocked. The faults will be blocked before entering to the protective zone. Okay, it is one of the most reliable protecting scheme because it protects the system equipments from the damage. Next one is the carrier permitting block. Okay, the carrier protective scheme allows the fault current to enter into the protective system of the system. Okay, for large fault cases, we are using the carrier blocking protection system. Okay, this is the main circuit diagram for the carrier protection scheme. In that we are using this is the feeder line. At the end of this feeder line, we are connecting the circuit breakers. That circuit breakers is near to circuit breakers. We are using the line traps, coupling capacitors, and transmitter and the receivers. Okay, during the faulted condition, some carrier signal is flowing through that transmitter to the receiver. Okay, therefore, the tripping command is given to the relay coil or the circuit breaker. Relay coil or the circuit breaker. Okay, in that we observe two conditions, that is the blocking protection. First one is the blocking protection. Blocking protection means that carrier current, that carrier blocks the protection scheme. That means the fault is, and does not enter to the protected system. The fault does not enter to the protected system. Okay, next, carrier permit blocking means the faulted current enter into the protective system. Okay, that is the carrier. That is the carrier current directional comparison protection. That is the carrier current directional comparison protection. In that, second type of protection is the phase comparison protection. Okay, in that we are comparing the phases of that cities. Okay, phases of that cities, that phase comparisons, carrier protection. Okay, this system compares the phase relationship between the current entering into the pillet zone and current entering to the leaving to the protective zone. Okay, by using these phase comparison carrier protections, we compare the phases of that current entering and the leaving of the protective current entering and the leaving of the protective zone. Okay, it provides only mainly are the primary protection and backup protection for the relay coils. Okay, it gives the protection for the primary and the backup protection. Okay, this is the circuit diagram for that phase comparison carrier current differential protection. Okay, this is the feeder line. In that feeder line, we are connecting the circuit breakers at the both the ends. We are using the line traps, that is the inductive capacitance circuit is the line traps. Okay, this is the coupling capacitor. CC means the coupling capacitor. That coupling capacitor is connected by the transmitter receiver circuit, and another coupling capacitor is connected by the receiver transmitter circuit. In that phase angle differential protection, we are connecting the two CTs at the both ends of these protective schemes. Okay, this is the total overall protection phase angle differential protection. At the both ends of this type of protection, we are connecting the two ends of the CTs. That is this is the CT1 and this is the CT2. Okay, the transmission line CTs feeds a network that transforms the CT's output current into a single phase sinusoidal output voltage. Okay, when the currents will be passing through that CTs, that CT current is converted into the sinusoidal output voltage. Okay, this voltage is applied to the transmitter and then compared. Okay, the output of this current receivers is applied to the comparator also. Okay, therefore the comparator regulates the auxiliary relay for the tripping of that transmission circuit breaker. Therefore this comparator regulate the auxiliary relays. Okay, regulate the auxiliary relay for tripping the transmission line of the circuit breaker. Okay, next coming to the advantages of a carrier current protection. Okay, what are the main advantages are there in the case of a carrier current protection? Okay, it has a fast and a simple operation of a circuit breakers at the both ends. Okay, by using this carrier current protection, it is operated very quickly. It is fastly in operation. Okay, it has fast clearing process and prevents the shock to the system. Okay, therefore it gives very fast quick operation for preventing the faults from the system. Okay, therefore no separate pillet wires are required for significance, because the power lines themselves carries the power as well as a communication signals also. Therefore we does not require any pillet wires in the case of a carrier current protection. Why? Because we does not require any pillet wires. That means in that case we are using some of the wires. Okay, by using that wires that carries the power, and also that lines are transmitting the signals, and also that lines are transmitting the signals also. Okay, it transmit the communication signals and also the power. Okay, and also the power. Okay, that is the main advantage of a carrier current differential type of protections. Okay, next coming to the sum of the advantages, that is, it is simultaneously tripping of the circuit breaker at both the ends of the line in 1 to 3 cycles. Okay, why? Because it gives the 1 to 3 cycles, means the in each and every cycle that checks the carrier current directional comparison and also the phase comparison. By comparing these two terms, and then it identifies that is the severe faults or not severe faults. Okay, then it checks the 1 to 3 cycles for the operation. Okay, this system is suitable for the fast relaying and also the fast modern circuit breakers. Okay, this type of system is most suitable for the modern type of protection also. Okay, the main operation of power lines carries has been for the purpose of a supervision, control, telephone communications, telemeters and relaying systems. Okay, this type of protection is used in the telephone communications and telemeters and relaying and super controlling systems. Okay, these are the main advantages by using this carrier current differential protection. Okay, ఈ carrier current differential protection ని మనం ఎక్కడ యూస్ చేస్తాము అంటే లాంగ్ ఫీడర్ లైన్స్ లో యూస్ చేసుకుంటాం. వై? బికాస్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ ఫర్ దట్ క్యారియర్ డిఫరెన్షియల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ మీన్స్ ద by using the differential protection, it is not economical for when the length will be increases above 15 kilometers. Okay, that is the main reason for the implementation of this carrier current differential protection. Okay, what is the main operation in the case of a carrier current differential protection means in this case mainly we compare the directions and also the phase angle differences. Okay, we compare the directions and also the phase angle differences. Okay, by using the directional and the phase angle comparison methods. Okay, by using the directional and the phase angle comparison methods, we easily operate the circuit breaker, or we easily give the indication to that of a circuit breaker. Okay, that is the one of the main advantage in the case of a carrier current differential protection. Okay, in this case of carrier current differential protection, we are using the one line trapper and also the coupling capacitors and also the transmitters and the receivers. Okay, that transmitter transmit the signal from the given input, then it is taken by the receivers. Okay, it is taken by the receivers. After that, this receivers receives the signal coming from the transmitters. Okay, then it compares the directions and also as well as the phase comparisons. After that, only this type of protection is gives the indication for that circuit breakers. Okay, this is the overall protection for that feeder lines. Okay, basically the feeder lines protections are divided into two types. First one is the non-unit type of protection of a feeder. Second one is the unit type of protection of a feeder. Okay, basically the non-unit type of protection is divided into three types. Okay, what are the three types? First one is the time gradient protection. Second one is the current gradient protection, and also the third one is the current difference, sorry, and also the third one is the distance protection. Third one is the distance protection. Okay, that is the non-unit type of protection. Okay, next coming to the unit type of protection, in that mainly we are having the two types of protections. Okay, that is first one is the differential protection, second one is the carrier current differential protection. Okay, again in the differential protection, for easily understanding purpose, or for we are dividing into the two types, that is the differential pillet wire protection. So first one is the differential pillet wire protections. Okay, second one is the current differential protection. Okay, in that case, what is the difference between why we are using the carrier current differential protection means the differential protection is not economical for the length greater than the 15 kilometers. Okay, for the length greater than the 15 kilometers, it is not economical. Okay, that's why we are using the carrier current differential protection. Okay, again the carrier current differential protection having the two types, that is the directional comparison protection of a feeder line. Next one is the phase comparison protection of the feeder line. Okay, next one is the phase comparison protection of a feeder line. Okay, these are the basic classifications, are the basic protection schemes of a feeder line. Okay, first of all, why we are giving the separate protection for that feeder, and what is meant by the feeder? Feeder means that it is a long length of cable or a conductor for using transmitting the power from the generating station to the substation. Okay, generating station to the substation. Okay, why? Because it is called as the long conductor or a cable means the distance between the generating station to the substation is very long. Okay, the generating stations are very far away from the load centers. Okay, that's why we are installing the some of the substations. Okay, in that substation, the power is transmitted from the generating station to that substations by using these feeder lines. Okay, in that we are connecting the number of generators and also the transformers. Okay, therefore the generators and the transformers are the very large equipments in the case of a transmission and also the distribution systems. Okay, that generators and the transformers are connected to the feeder lines. Okay, suppose if any faults are obtained at that feeder lines, due to that fault currents, that generators and transformers is also damaged. Okay, that's why we give the separate protection for that feeder line is the one of the major important consideration in the case of a transmission or the distribution systems. Okay, that's why we are giving the different types of protections, that is the non-unit type of protection of a feeder line and also the unit type of protection of a feeder lines. Okay, why? Because we are selecting different types of protection means by using different types of protection we improve the reliability of that protection. Okay, we improve the reliability of that protection schemes. Okay, that's why we are giving the separate protection for that feeder line is the one of the major important consideration in the case of a feeder systems. Okay, that is the one of the major consideration. Okay, next in this unit we are having the next topic, that is the bus bar protection. Okay, that is the bus bar protection. Okay, first of all, what is meant by the bus bar and why you are giving the separate protection for that bus bar systems, and what are the types are there in the case of a bus bars. Okay, that all will be discussed in the next topic, that is the bus bar protection. Okay, this is the overall feeder protections. Okay, అర్థమైందమ్మా ఇవి?
అర్థమైంది మేడం.
ఇది యూనిట్ లో మీకు ఉన్నది ఏంటి అంటే ఫస్ట్ బస్ బార్ ఫీడర్ ప్రొటెక్షన్, నెక్స్ట్ బస్ బార్ ప్రొటెక్షన్. ఓకే, ఫీడర్ లో మనకేంటి మెయిన్ గా 2 టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి, నాన్ యూనిట్ టైప్, యూనిట్ టైప్. నాన్ యూనిట్ టైప్ లో మనకున్న మెథడ్స్ ఏంటి, టైం గ్రేడియంట్ మెథడ్, కరెంట్ గ్రేడియంట్ మెథడ్, డిస్టెన్స్ ప్రొటెక్షన్. యూనిట్ టైప్ లో మనకున్నది ఏంటి, డిఫరెన్షియల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్, క్యారియర్ కరెంట్, డిఫరెన్షియల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్. ఓకే, ఈ ఫాలోయింగ్ మెథడ్స్ ద్వారా మనం ఫీడర్ కి ఎలా ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఇస్తున్నాము, వాటి డయాగ్రామ్స్ ఏంటి అనేది మనం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ లో ఏంటి మనకి బస్ బార్ ప్రొటెక్షన్. ఓకే, ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ వాట్ ఈస్ మీన్ బై బస్ బార్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, అసలు మనకి బస్ బార్స్ అనేవి మనకి ఎన్ని టైప్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఏ టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ బస్ బార్ కి ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది సూటబుల్ అవుతుంది. ఓకే, మీరు ఆల్రెడీ బస్ బార్స్ గురించి మనం చదివాము. ఎప్పుడు చదివాము మనం బస్ బార్స్ గురించి, పవర్ సిస్టమ్ 1 సబ్జెక్ట్ లో మనం చదువుకున్నాం. అసలు బస్ బార్ అంటే ఏంటి, మనకి మామూలుగా మనకి ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ సిస్టమ్ లో బస్ బార్ అంటే ఏంటి, మనకి నార్మల్ గా బండిల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కండక్టర్స్. ఓకే, బండిల్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ కండక్టర్స్. ఓకే, దట్ బస్ బార్స్ లో మనకి మెయిన్ గా ఎన్ని టైప్స్ గా డివైడ్ చేసుకున్నాము అంటే సింగిల్ బస్ బార్ సిస్టమ్, డబుల్ బస్ బార్ సిస్టమ్, ఆర్ డబుల్ బస్ బార్ విత్ సెక్షనలైజేషన్, అండ్ సింగిల్ బస్ బార్ విత్ సెక్షనలైజేషన్, అండ్ డబుల్ సర్క్యూట్ బ్రేకర్ అండ్ బస్ బార్ సిస్టమ్స్. అలా డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ గా బస్ బార్స్ అనే వాటిని మనం డిఫరెంట్ టైప్స్ గా మనం డివైడ్ చేసుకున్నాం. అలా ఎన్ని టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ బస్ బార్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ బస్ బార్ కి మనకి ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ ఇవ్వాలి, అసలు నార్మల్ గా బస్ బార్ కి సపరేట్ గా మనం ఎందుకు ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది ఇవ్వాలి, అవన్నీ కూడా మనం నెక్స్ట్ టాపిక్ లో మనం డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, బస్ బార్ అంటే ఏంటి అంటే అదొక మెయిన్ బార్ ఆర్ ఏ కండక్టర్. ఓకే, బస్ బార్ మీన్స్ ఇట్ ఈస్ ఏ మెయిన్ బార్ ఆర్ ఏ కండక్టర్. ఓకే, ఆ కండక్టర్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, క్యారింగ్ ఆన్ electrical current to which many connections. Okay, the term bus is derived from the word omnibus. అందుకని దాని నేమ్ ఏమంటున్నాము అంటే బస్ బార్ అంటున్నాం. ఓకే, దాని omnibus అంటే ఏంటి అంటే కలెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ ఏ థింగ్స్, అంటే నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ ని మనం కలెక్ట్ చేసే దాన్ని మనం బస్ బార్ అంటున్నాం. ఓకే, కలెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ ఎనర్జీ అట్ 1 లొకేషన్. ఆ బస్ బార్ ఏం చేస్తుంది, ఎనర్జీని మనం ఒక లొకేషన్ నుంచి కలెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటది. ఓకే, ఈజ్ ఏ కలెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ ఎనర్జీ అట్ 1 లొకేషన్ ఈజ్ నోన్ యాజ్ ద బస్ బార్. ఓకే, అలా బస్ బార్ ని మనం తీసుకున్నప్పుడు వాటికి ఎన్ని టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ బస్ బార్స్ ఉంటాయి, ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది ఆ బస్ బార్ కి ఇవ్వాలి, అలా ఏ టైప్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ వల్ల బస్ బార్ ని మనం ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు, ఎందుకు అసలు సపరేట్ బస్ బార్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అనేది ఇవ్వాలి, అవన్నీ కూడా నెక్స్ట్ యూనిట్ లో డిస్కస్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఓకే, మనకి యూనిట్ లో ఉన్నది 2 టైప్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్స్, దట్ ఈస్ ఫీడర్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అండ్ ఆల్సో ద బస్ బార్ protection. Okay, each and every protection are having the separate circuit diagrams and various equipments are there, and various protective relays are by using that protective relays we give the separate protection for that feeder lines and also the bus bar systems. Okay,
madam
amma cheppu.